Game developers are coming out of the woodwork to defend Sweet Baby Inc. We've already covered Marvel's Wolverine, the folks over there at Insomniac Games, Mary Kinney, and now we have one from Bungie. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. This is over at thatparkplace.com. And we have a senior narrative designer for Bungie choosing to defend Sweet Baby Inc. and even parroting comments made by the company's CEO telling gamers, quote, they need to grow up. This is from Thickest Yosh, whose profile indeed claims he is a senior narrative designer for Bungie. He posted this: if you're mad about, quote, DEI ruining games, you need to grow up. You need to stop wasting so much time on grifters who are only there to manipulate you and milk your anger for engagement. You need to talk to people who aren't like you a bit more. You need to stop falling for this. Well, who knows what people are falling for? He doesn't really say. But we know what Sweet Baby Inc. is up to. And interestingly enough, his comment about telling gamers to grow up mimics what Kim Belair said back in 2019, where she described straight white male gamers as picky babies. This is what she said during a game developers a presentation at the game developers conference. She said, I think in our industry and in so many creative industries, if you want to look at film and television in any art form, we start treating our core demographics as a fixed and static value, something that does not want to change and something that is locked in place. So despite the changing face of audiences, despite the changing face of conferences like this one, we still look at our core demographics and say, okay, they're white, cis, hetero males, and we cater almost exclusively to them. And the problem is that we don't just cater to them like, here's something that we think you'll enjoy. We cater to them like a picky baby. She elaborated. We feed them the same thing that we know that they love, and we keep on feeding it. We're like, here you go. We know you love it. Eat this, eat this, eat this. So then when they get anything else, they react as a picky baby would, which would be like, oh, no, thank you. I do not want this. And we've actually done this so long that what we're doing is creating an entire nation of picky babies. And they make us scared to deviate from what we actually want to do, just in case these picky babies don't want to play our game. So clearly describing straight white male gamers as picky babies. Disgusting, demonization, abhorrent. Can you imagine if you did that to any other racial group? No, you wouldn't. And people would be calling her out for her disgusting behavior. That's what she did. She doubled down on the metaphor later in the presentation. She says, I do like to imagine that when we look at white guys, and there's several of you here, I think when we look at you, we say, okay, you can't possibly enjoy this. But I think they want also, and maybe you want also, to experience new and different stories. I think we need to step out of this rule that like white men can enjoy fantasy worlds, aliens, sci-fi, monsters, anything so long as it is through a lens that looks exactly like them. Because if that's the kind of person that we're always going to cater to, you're never going to innovate. You're never going to change things. You're going to keep feeding the picky baby. And we cannot continue to try to create art under a system that is going to bar innovation for fear of a picky baby throwing a tantrum. A little bit later, she claims straight white male gamers stand in the way of her, quote, progress and innovation. This is what she said. I don't think it's pie in the sky thinking to go like, hey, maybe we can invite white dudes to play as other people and experience different things through someone else's eyes. If they don't like it, we have to start thinking we're not losing, they're losing, and we're losing because we're going to let them stand in the way of our progress and our innovation. So, yeah, he's literally parroting what she has to say and then basically describing gamers as babies that need to grow up. And then we also have here her basically saying this is what DEI is doing. It's demonizing white gamers. And we also have this on the company's website. It reads right here. This is their about us section. It says our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories about diversifying and enriching the video games industry. Well, if you don't know, diversity is basically getting rid of white people. This is what Emily Goldstein wrote at Thought Catalog back in 2015, almost a decade ago. Her article is titled, Yes, Diversity is about getting rid of white people, and that's a good thing. Within the article, she writes this: one of the more common memes that I've seen white supremacists spread around recently has been diversity is a code word for white genocide. The concept here is that diversity is only promoted in white nations and that the end goal is to eliminate white people altogether by flooding all white countries with non-white people until there are no white people left. Well, guess what, white supremacists? That's exactly right. Diversity is about getting rid of white people, and that's a good thing. That's literally what Emily Goldstein wrote in her article. She even concludes the article writing, so yes, white supremacists, diversity is indeed white genocide, and white genocide is exactly what the world needs more than anything else. Like, that's what this person wrote, and that is exactly what Kim Belair is doing. In fact, she's actually engaging in it because we know she said this in 2019 that she did not want a Frenchman to be the diversity in a video game. She wanted to get rid of that Frenchman and turn that character into a person of color. This is what she said. She said this. I once worked on a project where they had an all-white cast where they expressed their desire, okay, we need to mix it up a bit. How about this character's like stereotypically French? So they have a beret and they have like a striped shirt. And I was like, okay, if you need to do that, can we at least make them a person of color? And they said, oh, no, that would be weird. They're already French. So fortunately, the developers told her no, which more people should have. They should never have hired her in the first place or her company. But fortunately they told her no. But she wanted to get rid of this French character because she viewed that not as diverse. She wanted a person of color. She wanted to get rid of the white character because French people are white. And she asserted, so I want to do better than this. So that's what these people are doing. That's what these people are advocating for. They know exactly what they're doing. And anytime they're trying to lecture you like this guy from Bungie, they're just lying. They're just lying to you. They're trying to gaslight you. They're trying to get you to bow down to their behavior. And we have to reject this stuff. We have to say no. And I'm so glad that there is a giant movement rising up against Sweet Baby Inc. and all of these despicable game developers that were destroying the video game industry and destroying culture at large. Those are my thoughts on the matter. Let me know what you guys make of this in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, but to always speak the truth.